What's up, everyone? I just finished watching the Nintendo Direct live stream. I didn't have time to watch the live stream, so I've just finished watching it on like my phone because I was away at school and I didn't really have time to really watch the actual live stream from just actually live, just from the video of just watching it from start to finish. So I just watched a little recording on it on my phone, and what I have here is just all the stuff that they talked about, but I didn't really expect to really do this video. But to be honest with you guys, before I get ready to go through all the stuff that was talked about in this little today's Nintendo Direct live stream, I don't really keep up with the Nintendo Direct because I don't know when they actually do it. I think they do it every now and then. I'm not really sure, but the reason why I decided to do this video is because later on is I'm gonna really talk about like what's gonna be happening tomorrow, because I'm really excited for the little event that's gonna be tomorrow, taking place tomorrow, right before the release of the PlayStation 4. So I'll get to that later on in this video, but I'm just gonna try to go through everything that was shown and talked about in today's little Nintendo Direct live feed that I just finished watching. So I got all the games and stuff that was announced that's gonna be coming like for this year, pretty much. And not exactly all the games that's coming out pretty much this year, but just like some of the games that's gonna be coming for like the 3DS and some Wii U titles that's coming in early 2014. So without further ado, we'll just get started here, and after I just go through the games, we're going to talk about my opinions, my honest reactions about it, how I feel, and then I'll talk about what's going to be happening tomorrow and what I'm going to do for tomorrow's little big event that I'm pretty actually pumped for and excited for, and some stuff I would like to see happen. So first off, they kicked off like the stream with The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Two Worlds that's actually coming out November 22nd, which is next week, and they showed like a brand new launch trailer for the game, and also was announced like you not only saw after the launch trailer gameplay, they showed just new gameplay and stuff that you can do in the game and everything like that. The game looks good in my opinion. I like it, and I'm really interested in getting that for my 3DS because the 3DS actually has a lot of good games, great games, and we just had like Pokemon. Now we're gonna get a brand new Zelda game that can probably live up to be better than probably A Link to the Past. I never played that game before, but only actually played one Zelda game and beaten one game from start to finish, and that was just like Zelda Wind Waker back on the GameCube. But also after like the trailer that they just showed with the brand new gameplay of the game, it was announced that the new 3DS XL, the bundle which comes with the game itself, it's a gold 3DS. It's like a 3DS XL, but it's gold and has like a Triforce on the back of the system itself. It's pretty cool and it looks nice, but it's just funny how they're just coming out with all these types of different colors and everything. They just had a purple one, and I think it's a waste of time. But even though it looks good and looks pretty sweet, and just the design of it, and just like a gold 3DS, but the difference is it's a 3DS XL with like the Triforce on the back and it's gold. Even though it looks pretty sweet, but who would just try to trade in their current 3DS that they already purchased a while ago or whenever you got it, and just to get like a brand new 3DS just because of the change in the color and the change in the design when you already have one in your possession right then and there. But I don't know. But anyway, what was also announced with the game is like new characters are going to be in the game, and I didn't really care too much about that, but that's just what they kicked off the stream with. So next was the next thing that was announced, Mario Party Island Tour for the 3DS, which will be coming out on November 22nd as well. Next we have the RPG game called Bravely Default. It looks pretty good. It kind of reminded me of just like Dragon Quest a little bit, with just the whole types of gameplay and stuff, but from what I've seen, it looks really good, and I think that it'll be a great title for the 3DS to really make just to boost the variety of games. And it's something like, it's not just like the same old games. Like, it's not like a Mario game or a Zelda game. It's like it's a JRPG of a different genre of games that can a game with a different genre that's just differentiates from the others and really stands out. It looks pretty good from what I've seen. So just with the customization of your characters and just the whole type of gameplay presentation looked really good. So, but that was just my feelings towards that. Yeah, I actually like that game so far. And then also a game called Professor Layton and the Azrian Legacy, which will be coming out February 28th of 2014. I never actually played this game before. I never heard of it, and from what I've seen from the stream, I guess it's the last of the it's the last game of the trilogy. But I never played a Professor Layton game before, so I don't know what the game is really about. I have no clue what the plot of the game is. It's like from what I see, it's like a mystery game and just figuring out puzzles and mysteries and everything. It's like a puzzle game, but it seems like it has a great story, and just some of the cutscenes remind me like I was watching like a cartoon show or one of those anime shows that come on TV. But gameplay wise, it looks pretty good also. But that's just another title that's coming out next year, so that could be great. Another great title for the 3DS. Next we have that was announced was the 3DS system update coming next month, which is December. And the thing about this update that I have here that I took down and wrote down is that just to give you guys some details about the update for the 3DS. I don't know if you guys haven't been really playing the 3DS systems or not, even though with the Pokemon game, if that really interests you or not. But you can now register your Nintendo Network ID on your Nintendo 3DS, which allows you to purchase stuff using the same network ID on both not only just your 3DS, but also you can use that same network ID to make purchases on your Wii U if you have one. And you'll also now be able to get on YouTube on your 3DS as well, which will be like a YouTube app for like you can use your 3DS for just like you can get on YouTube on like your phone. It'll be an app for the 3DS you can download now, but that'll be alongside the update as well with the ability to purchase stuff on your 3DS or your and your Wii U as well. So that was it for the update. But next we have Pikmin 3 DLC that was announced, which is going to be round 3 for mission mode with additional stages, with 8 new stages, but I'm going to get to that in a little bit. And there's also the opportunity where you can control like Olimar. Yeah, I think that's his name. I almost butchered his name. But Olimar from the original Pikmin game, and also Louis from, if you can find him in the game. But I never played a Pikmin game before, but that was just also announced. And with the 8 new stages in total, it'll be 8 new stages in total with the DLC. 4 collect treasure stages and 4 battle enemy stages, which total up to the 8 new stages that's going to be available for the DLC, and that will be available December 2nd. And the next game is Animal Crossing Plaza, which is free to download, as I heard. And what they added to this is like stamps. I guess I don't know too much about what was going on with the stamps. Now you can use stamps. Now you can comment about your characters, the little characters in an Animal Crossing game, and just like also the ranking features will now be enabled in the game. But I guess it's a free downloadable thing for your 3DS to download off the eShop, I guess. But all that other stuff, like I just mentioned about the little stamps and the stamps details and everything like that, that's going to be available later this evening. So today, November 13th, later tonight, it'll be all available for like stamps and stuff. If Animal Crossing is your thing and is your kind of game, but all that stuff will be available later this evening with the stamps and being able to comment about the characters in the game and all that stuff. So the thing I'm about to really get ready to really talk about is like this is all the list of the indie games. There's so many indie games. It's so much indie games. I haven't seen so much indie games be announced before out of all like both conferences, but it's more than a little bit in my opinion. But these indie games will be, as I watched from the stream, these indie games will be coming to Nintendo eShop, and I'm gonna go through the list, but I'm not gonna say what system they are, but just to give you guys a heads up, some of them will be actually indie games for the 3DS, and some will be available for the Wii U also. So it'll just be one or the other, like either the 3DS or the Wii U. So the first indie game we have is Q Director's Cut, Scram Kitty and his buddy on rails. It's some crazy indie game names, but I don't know about these indie games. I don't know too much about them, but I know it's so many of them. But I guess they'll boost the little titles and have you give you like so much a variety of just a variety of choices to play on your 3DS or your Wii U. But oh well, I don't know about these indie games, but there's so many of them. Not only is they're gonna be for the, I just realized, but before I name the rest of these indie games, I noticed that like on Xbox One it has indie games. PS4 is gonna actually have indie games now. After watching the Nintendo Direct stream today, they're gonna have indie games also for 3DS and Wii U. So I don't know what's up with I don't know what the deal is with the indie games and everything, but I just feel like it's gonna be more indie games than actual title games and exclusives. There's gonna be more indie games than actual games with that go with those representative consoles. Like more indie games than Wii U games, Wii U exclusives than Xbox One exclusives and PS4 exclusives. When with all these delays with the consoles and with the certain games, next generation games, it's gonna be more indie games available to play than the actual representative games for those specific consoles, is what I want to say. But continuing is we got Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, that's for 3DS. Armillo, that's Wii U. But I'm not going to keep naming all the systems, but I'm just going to keep going through the list. Grinchia, 1001 Spikes, Tengami, Jet Rocket 2, The Wrath of Taikai, Pure Solar HD, Putty Squad, Tessia Grade, Treasure Knots. I guess that's gonna be like it looked like it showed a person shooting some enemies. I don't know what's that about. I heard about Scribble Knots, but now it's Treasure Knots, but that's for 3DS. Wooden Sensei, Retro City Rampage. I heard of that game. That's already on the PlayStation Store as I can remember. Net Underground, that sounds like a familiar title that I heard of. I think it's for like another indie game for like the PS4. I'm not really sure. I think it was for the actual PS4. That just sounds familiar because I remember actually saying that in one of my previous videos. Unepic or Unepic. I don't know if that's how you really say it. I think it's spelled like Unepic, like UNEPIC. Sounds like Unepic, or unless they was trying to say Unepic. But that's a Wii U indie game. The last two being Siesta Fiesta for the 3DS and also Shovel Knight. Lastly, that's the last indie game that was announced and shown. And not to mention when they mentioned them indie games, they showed a little bit of gameplay. But I could care less for the indie games. I'm not really trying to go on them or anything like that. But after just watching the stream, here's one more thing that I was actually talking about in the stream before I really talk about my honest feelings. They showed more gameplay of the Super Mario 3D World that's also coming out November 22nd, and they showed that they announced 10 new things that are spoilers with for those who are going to be getting the game. If you have a Wii U or not, unless you play one, unless you really still play your Wii U right now, because I don't really see any point of really playing your Wii U right now except for the Wind Waker HD that came out a while ago, and now they got Super Mario 3D World coming out the 22nd as well. So only wrote down the 5 things. I don't want to really spoil too much for the game for those who are really big fans of the game for Super Mario. I love Super Mario games, but I don't have a Wii U, and I still haven't. After just watching this, I'm still not really convinced of really getting a Wii U at any time soon, or any time in the near future, except for the whole sole purpose of the new Super Smash Bros., which is the only game that interests me, honestly. But the 5 things I wrote down out of the 10 things they announced, I don't want to spoil the game too much, but there will be like touchscreen and microphone gameplay, and kart style stages, Captain Toad levels. The thing with the Captain Toad levels is where you have to collect you go to collect, you go to the stage and you play with Toad, and you collect the stars without jumping, and that's basically the goal. You collect the stars without jumping, like 5 stars on each of the levels without jumping, and you just go in different directions to make your way around the stage to get those stars that are hidden around the level and everything like that without jumping with Toad. And the other thing that was announced is old school shooter. Old school shooter stages where you run through the levels and play through it with a hammer bro, and you throw the hammer and just attack enemies as you make your way and progress throughout the level. And the last thing I just wrote was you can unlock Rosalina from Princess Rosalina from Super Mario Galaxy. I remember that game because I played those games for back on my Wii that I still have. But that's just gonna be the new unlockable character next to playable character next to Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, and Toad. And now you can unlock Princess Rosalina in the game. But that was it. That was the last thing that they showed for the stream. But I was hoping when I really saw this little Nintendo Direct stream today, I was hoping to see like maybe some brand new like leaked Wii U titles that they didn't really announce that's coming out next year or something alongside with Super Smash Bros. But just after just going through all the stuff that I've written down, it's more indie games than a little bit, and it seems like there's more indie games. There's going to be more indie games than actual Wii U titles, in my opinion. That's just the way I feel. But I'm not saying that these indie games are not going to be any good, but who knows? They look pretty good and really fun and entertaining and really interesting to play. But you just have to I'll just really have to look into it and see how the games play and everything like that. But I don't really see any reason to really get a Wii U. And for those who actually have one, I don't know how you guys are feeling. I know you guys are probably disappointed because they're just milking the same characters with like Mario and Donkey Kong and not really utilizing their other variety of characters. Like, when was the last time you seen a Wario game? I mean, like an actual Wario game like Wario World that I remember playing, that I actually loved and played back on the Nintendo GameCube. They can make another game like that and make it Wario World 2 or something like that, or change the name around, or an actual Wario Land game in HD and put it on the Wii U and just utilize those different kind of characters and everything like that. I just see the same stuff with Zelda, Donkey Kong, Mario games being on the platform, and I love those games. I love playing those games, and maybe like a new Metroid, or bring back some of those other games from back then that I used to play on the GameCube, like a F-Zero game, and maybe some like characters like Nez. Like, you can make that. I mean, I know they put like the Earthbound on it. I think that's on the Wii U now. You can download that, but they didn't make any sort of new games and HD versions of them just to really revive those old characters and all those Nintendo characters that they have. And maybe a Yoshi's Island, a brand new Yoshi's Island. I remember playing on the Game Boy Advance. I would really like to see those kind of characters come back and return to the Wii U, and that's just the way I feel. And I don't know what's up. Like, I don't know what their deal is, but I think they just really honestly fell off. Like, I'm really a big Nintendo fan. I'm not really trying to sound like a fanboy, but I grew up playing Nintendo, and that was my favorite system. And I grew up next to with all these type of Nintendo games, with the Nintendo 64, playing games like Banjo, Kazooie, and Super Mario 64, Zelda Ocarina of Time, some of those great games from back in the day, Star Fox 64, not to mention those Star Fox games. They can really bring that game back, but they keep making they just remade a different version of Star Fox 64 and put it on the 3DS and make it Star Fox for 3DS or something. I didn't really see any point for buying that game because it was pretty much the same game that you already owned on your Nintendo 64. Or maybe you can emulate it on your computer and play that whenever you wanted to, and whatever you feel like starting over if you're bored or anything like that. But I don't see any point in really buying one, and I don't know how Wii U owners feel right now. I feel bad for them, and I'm honestly glad I didn't buy one. Like, I wanted to really buy one when they first showed it off on stage, but just the lack of games just really make me not want to go out and buy a console. So I just would rather see what 2014 holds for Nintendo, if they can really bring out, maybe possibly drop some newer titles and utilize and bring back some of those characters like Captain Falcon, Nez, Wario, and Yoshi, and bring back some of those better games that'll make your system worth buying. But that's just it regarding Nintendo. And the only thing I want to really talk about regarding my news for tomorrow. What's going to be happening tomorrow? Tomorrow's going to be PlayStation at All Access Live, taking place tomorrow at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'm gonna be watching it on Spike TV. You can also watch it on Spike TV and also on live stream also. But I know most people are going to be in line for their PlayStation 4. But I want to really see what Sony has planned. I hope that Sony can really drop some bombshells. And I hear that Santa Monica has a title announcement, and Naughty Dog, and I'm really looking forward to Naughty Dog's announcement, because I don't know, Naughty Dog always brings good news to PlayStation for Sony, and it could really mean good news for the PS4. And just to make a quick prediction, I'm feeling the Uncharted 4 for Naughty Dog. Maybe Uncharted 4. I would like to see that. That would be awesome. Uncharted 4, maybe a Jack 4, possibly. I would like to see that. Maybe I don't know. I can't really see them actually coming back to this character, but I really love Crash Bandicoot. I would love to see a brand new Crash Bandicoot from Naughty Dog, whatever their announcement is, on a PS4 version, and making like brand new, and just make him look much more real, and just like, Chris, like very realistic, and just like to see just to revive those classic characters, and maybe like a brand new Spyro or some of those classic characters. I want to see those games, see some of those characters return, but I don't know what's going to really happen, but I feel like it's going to be really good, and I can't wait to really watch it and find out what the announcements, what brand new PS4 game is going to be coming to the system. And right after I watch like the PlayStation All Access Live, I'll be recording a video just like today's Nintendo's Direct video. Just like tomorrow, I'll just be doing the same thing for the PlayStation All Access Live. So and to give my little honest reactions about that, and maybe possibly some new brand new PS4 games exclusives. Maybe like I don't know, maybe a brand new Ape Escape. I would love to see that too. I love that. That was also a great PlayStation exclusive game also. And maybe some more footage of Kingdom Hearts 3 and some of these other games that they got coming out, like Infamous Second Son or something like that. I would really like to see that. But I'll get more into that after watching the live event tomorrow. So I can't wait for that. So that's pretty much it for this video and all I wanted to talk about. So and that's also what's going to be going on tomorrow, what I'm going to be doing as far as my videos go. So I won't be doing any other gameplay today or tomorrow, because I'm just going to be really looking forward to the PlayStation All Access Live, to really see what Sony has in store for us, and all the news regarding the PS4 and all those titles that's coming to it, and maybe some bombshells. Hopefully I want to see some bombshells and maybe some surprising news, because they're really known for that. And I just hope they bring the good news on stage, and possibly just make this PS4 even more worth buying than it already is now.